How's it? Welcome along to Bez's Garage on a cold wintry night. Just thought I'd give you a bit of an update on where we're at with the Cub Cadet build. Been a little bit hectic doing other things, so anyway, come over this way and we'll show you what we've done so far. So the first thing I want to show you is I've made up a bumper for the front. Now, as per the rules, it can't be any wider than 650mm, so it's not wider than 650mm. I've mounted it through to the chassis. I put extra bracing in here and just followed it around, so trying to make it to protect the bonnet. And what I'm worried about is the bonnet, not anything else. So I think it's come up okay. It was a bit of a mission. I'm not the best engineer, but hey, it looks okay from what I can see. So that's all sorted. That's great. So if we come up to the top of the bonnet here, I always come across these quite cool little mounts. So these little buttons here, you actually just press the buttons in and then the bonnet comes off. And I thought that was really cool. So I'm going to use those to hold the bonnet down, and then you just push it back up and then they just, well, get them lined up, they just lock them in again. And there they are locked in and they're quite solid. So I thought they were kind of cool. So that's going to hold my bonnet down. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the accelerator and the brakes. So the accelerator for these, I always have a hand throttle. I like a hand throttle because when my feet are down the bottom, hit bumps, it makes your feet move. So I just grab a hand controller for bikes. So I've tried several different types and different sizes. This one here was the one that seemed to work best for me. If your cable doesn't fit into the end of it, it's got a small bike cable on it, you can just drill it out. And then you can just put a tap in there and tap it so that the motorbike cable fits in. So this is just a standard motorbike accelerator cable. And what I've done is put it into here. Now I did modify the end here a little bit. So I had a little extension in here, which I've just soldered into the end of it because the cable was just a little bit too long. So by doing that, I've made the adjustment for the cable and it looks just like it's standard. So what we've got to make sure is that when we grab the accelerator, if you look in here, we need to have that to go fully open, which it does. So I've got full accelerator open with there, and it springs back, so there's springs in here and there's springs in here, so that should meet all the legal requirements, and then that's the carburetor that's going to go on to the engine, and this will come down through here, something like that. So accelerator cables on here, really easy. It's just a bike lever, and just modify it to fit it over there, bolt it on, and that's done pretty well. Now the other thing I like to do is I actually have my brakes on the steering as well. So I have both accelerator and brake on the steering. So this is a left-hand brake lever, or clutch lever, I think sometimes they are. It's a hydraulic one. And then I make up a special mount that comes off the steering through to a 22mm bar. And then I've got it so that I can just grab it, and it actually feels really good because obviously it locks up the wheels nice and easily. It's a nice comfortable position, and it means that my feet can stay planted, and it means that I don't get affected by the bumps. So you can put accelerator and brake on your steering wheel, no problems at all. And you know, obviously that makes it easy to control, and it means you don't need to use your legs. So that's always a good thing to have. So the other thing that I've done is, if we come around this side here, I've fitted my tether in. It's not wired up yet, but that's where my tether's going to go. So it's basically in the centre of the mower, and there was actually a little spot that it fitted perfectly in, so I was quite pleased about that. So the tether's on, brakes and steering are all done. So if we come and look at the back end, what I've done here is we've now got this all together. So the brakes are mounted on here with a couple of bolts that come through. Now when you put the brake calipers on, you have to make sure that the bleed nipple is at the top. It's no good being underneath there because you'll never bleed it properly. So you need to have the bleed nipple at the top so you can bleed it, get all the air out, and get a nice firm feel on the brake. The brake disc has all been put on. It's been locked in with the keyways. It's on there at the moment. The same with the gear. So we've got the gear and the right angle drive with a flash looking gold chain. The idler's down the bottom of here. The chain's a little bit tight at the moment, but I think once I do one little run with it, it'll loosen up a bit. So this all rolls nice and easily. What I've also done is I've put spacers on here. So these are actually just aluminium tubes that go over the 25mm axle, and it means that when I slide the wheels on, it gives me the exact 1 metre width, so that I know that it's 1 metre width as per the regulations. Obviously if it was a little bit over, I could squeeze it in, but I did measure it. It was about 995, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that's as per NZLMR rules. So this is basically all together. The riding wheel drive we've already rebuilt. That's sitting in there. The brakes are on, so it locks up and pushes forward really well. The other thing that I've been mucking around with is the rest of the body. So this is actually going to go on here. I'm going to use this original mount, and I'm actually going to mount the battery down inside here. I've got a little bracket that goes inside there to mount the battery. And we've been playing around with the rest of the body. So this is what it sort of looks like at the moment. So what I've done is the original chassis, the panels come out to here, and then I've measured this distance, and it's under 1 metre between here and here. I bent up some bars, and then I put some aluminium panels on the side that are bolted on. A lot of learning involved in doing this sort of stuff. I mean, like I say, I'm no engineer, but it's kind of fun to play around with a bender and bend stuff in. I've got place for my clutch pedal to go down through there. I've got grates on the outside so that dirt can go out through there as well. And the beauty of it is I can also put the original pieces back on here. So obviously I'm going to have to put something into there, otherwise when you put your cold beers in there it's not going to disappear into the wheel. And I've still sort of got a cup holder here, so we might do something with that as well. But you can see what we've done is we've tried to make it so that you have the good protection on the side so your legs don't get munched if somebody comes into the edge of it. So this should theoretically go down into here and go through into the mount. Something pretty much like that. Right, so that's now lined up there. So that's sitting about the height that it's going to be. These bits sit on here. And the only thing I've got left to do now is work out the seat height. This is not the seat I'm going to use, but I need to work the seat height out so that it feels comfortable to me, so that I can sit over the front, grab the bits that I need to, put my feet on the side so I can move my weight as I ride. So we're getting a lot closer with it. It's starting to look okay. I have chosen a colour for it, but I won't let you know what the colour is just yet. So what we've covered in here is accelerator, brake can be on the steering wheel, and okay, I have been carried away. I had one of these, a releasable steering wheel. You don't need them, but I just happened to have one, and it raised it up to the exact height that I needed for my steering. So it's probably a bit over the top, but you know, sometimes you just got to do it, and it looks shiny, so that's always good. It always goes faster when you've got shiny bits on it. So effectively where it's sitting at the moment is basically main construction is done. I've still got to hang a bit more paint off here, weld the NAS brackets on underneath here, mount the seat, mount the battery, and I've got to build the engine to make sure that the engine's all good to go. But just waiting for some bits and pieces to arrive for the engine. So it's going to be a class 2 motor. It'll be a 31 cubic inch Briggs & Stratton single overhead valve motor, and that's what we're going to run into it to start off with. So yeah, that's about it for Baz's Garage at the moment, and we'll catch you up next time.